beautiful, wonderful people. Today is Friday, July 15th, 2022. This is your host, Yoshino, and you are listening to Artist Decoded. I figured that I would put out a little mini episode. I know little and mini are a little bit redundant, but a little mini episode speaking about trusting your intuition. And I think that we all get into those states where we lose track, we lose focus of the goal in mind, what exactly we want out of life, and what sort of things mean something to us. I believe that gets muddied through the day-to-day of listening to other people tell us what is right, or to going on Instagram and these social media platforms and constantly seeing what other people are putting out into the world as projections of themselves. And I think it's easy to lose focus on what means the most to us. Something that I've done in the past is write down specifically what my values are, from the values of working out and leading a healthful life to the values of having friends and communing with our fellow peers. But it's easy to lose track of those things. I think something that really helps me in this day-to-day process is to write, actually. And I try to do this in the mornings before my head gets cluttered with any of the distractions from the outside world. But to sit down and focus on my own stream of consciousness and the things that matter to me, and be able to write it down without any regard of punctuation or to anything grammatically, technically correct, but writing from the heart. That's another reason why I want to do some of these mini episodes sometimes, is to be able to speak from the heart as well, so that I can give an intention to what my train of thought is for the day, and hopefully that helps other people into finding their own truth and their own unique spirit and their own unique identity. And I kind of think that we lose sense of that identity, and it could be from a multitude of different reasons. But let me ask you this question. What is your identity? Like, if you had to write it down on a piece of paper, what would you say that is? You can go and take the time and do this right now if you'd like. But really thinking about that, what is the thing that makes you specifically you? And everyone should have an answer to that, because you are the only person that has your own unique experiences in this life, both positive and negative experiences, but those experiences have led you to who you are right at this moment. And to be able to channel into what those unique experiences have taught you over time is going to allow you to create a further depth into the being of who you are. And these are things that I have to remind myself as well. Leading this art life, this life of an artist, it's a very uncertain path, which is, if you've listened to this podcast before, which led me to creating this podcast, but really trying to understand, and maybe perhaps we will never quite understand it, but that's also the beauty of the journey as well, isn't it? To constantly venture down the hole into the abyss of the mind that wield so much power over our thoughts. And we all have that key. The key is in your pocket. It's in your possession. And sometimes that key gets lost in your pocket and you have to sift through it. You have to find it through the lint and the dirt that accumulates within that pocket, that said pocket. But you can find it. And once you find it, you'll have to find that lock. That lock to unlock your innermost desires of who you are. And like I said before, along this journey, I've definitely had my fair share of getting lost and having these existential crises that come up from time to time. But again, those existential crises allow you to understand what you stand for. And that's a beautiful thing, because could you imagine going on through this entire life like a zombie, lifeless, with no sense of purpose or identity? But when you question it, if you were a zombie, perhaps you can transform into, I don't know what zombies transform into, but some sort of metaphor that's, the other side of a zombie. And perhaps that leads you to some sort of awakening of the spirit, your unique spirit. And I guess I'll just leave it there. But I dare you to lean into that intuition and to lean into that sense of oneness with yourself, as I do as well on this very day. I hope you all have a good weekend, and thank you for tuning in. We will be having more interviews that are going to be coming out soon, so please come back and feel free to listen. And yeah, I hope you all have a great weekend.